Well, hi, and welcome to Tennessee. If you watched last week's video, you'll see that Ricky and I traveled from Texas to Tennessee. We're here at our son and daughter-in-law's house, and we'll be in and out of Tennessee for part of the summer. So if you're new to our channel, welcome to Soaring Together. And a little bit about us, Ricky and I are retired. We have been traveling the United States for over 3 years now, full-time in our RV. So we've gone on some awesome adventures. We have traveled to several different states. We like riding our Harley trike. And if you haven't watched any of our rides, I do have those in categories in our playlist. They're categorized by state. So if you're interested in going on a motorcycle ride, check those out. But in today's video, we want to take you back to October of last year. We were in Hutchinson, Kansas, and we had the opportunity to go to an underground salt mine. So we're going to take you today. We'll be right back after the intro. Well, several years ago, early miners, when mining for gold and silver, discovered there were large deposits of salt underneath the ground in and around Hutchinson, Kansas. So it wasn't until the Carey Salt Mine was dedicated that mining began. So years and years have passed. They're still actively mining the salt, but part of the mine they have established as the Strataca Salt Museum. So today we're going to take you 650 foot below the ground down into the salt mine. So come on, let's go for the tour. This part of the mine is closed for mining and open to the public for touring. This is known as the Strataca Underground Salt Museum. Well, we all loaded on the double-decker hoist that transported us 650 foot below ground into the salt mines.
Of us. Once they load on, we are going to descend all the way down.
You need to watch that cane here.
I will.
Is that ladder over there 650 feet?
We are heading the rest of the way down. The ride's going to take about 90 seconds. However, since we did get on first, we are going to get off last. That 90 seconds does not include our wait time. Something that is going to happen as we get a little bit further, your ears might start to feel some pressure. Just go ahead and yawn, act like you're chewing gum, swallow. That'll kind of alleviate that discomfort. 650 feet is 20 feet taller than the St. Louis Arch, or it is about 2 Statue of Liberties stacked on top of each other. Or if you're from Kansas, never seen any of those things like myself, it is 2 wind turbines with the wind propellers facing up, stacked on top of each other. They opened this mine in 1923. They had started digging for the shaft and creating it in about 1922.
This is just a cave of salt. That's a big grain of salt.
Yeah, this I can put on the table for Don without the pepper.
What you think, Rockman?
It kind of looks like a nice stone, but I don't know. It's got a piece. I mean, but that's in. I mean, all we know is salt's in it. Look at the thought for a little bit. It's solid.
We entered the mine through the mining gallery that gave us a trip back in time to experience what it was like to be a miner years ago. Just the fact that all the equipment was lowered into the mines piece by piece and then assembled was fascinating in itself. After walking through the gallery, we took the Salt Blast Pass tram ride, and we even get to collect a bag of salt along the way.
Everything that comes down in the mine stays in the mine. And if you look at the lit area, you'll see that this is even true of mining trash. Now we know this area was mined in the 1940s and used as a break area in the 1950s. And we found many name brand products in this trash pile from that time period, and some of which are still around today. There are a couple of things that we noticed here. One, there's a calendar from 1953 on the floor by the rocks on the left. And two, when we found it over by the pillar, the gray trash can, well, it was empty. We consider all these items to be artifacts, which only proves one person's trash is another's treasure.
We had purchased the combo pass that includes a train ride, venturing deep into the untold secrets of Strataca and the abandoned areas of the mine.
Alright, so welcome to the Salt Safari. We are now the only people out here. Like I say, area behind us is 40-foot square pillars, and the area ahead of us has 50-foot square ones. In order to make that transition, they built what's to either side of us right now. These are 50 by 150 foot long stress attractors. They are called stress attractors because they're bigger, therefore they attract more stress of the overburden for all that 600 feet is stuck above us. With that added stress being applied to these extra big pillars, there's extra stress being applied to the floor, causing a floor heave like we're sitting on right now. Salt is plastic and elastic, so it's got a big give to it. We've been giving tours out here for 15 years. The floor has not moved on us at all, and that crack has always been there. Another method of mining, where there are 40-foot square pillars supporting a 50-foot square room. We're headed for our safari was mined out in the 50s. Out there are 50-foot square pillars and 50-foot square rooms. Of course, it is the Halloween season here, so follow Yellowbrick Road and you'll be crushed by a chunk of salt. Of course, this mine first opened back in 1923 up to the 60s. Most of the salt that came out of here was used for agriculture, so think cow feed and cowlicks. Salt had to be relatively pure because cows like the taste of salt, don't like the taste of mud or whatever else might be flowing around out here. Nowadays, the salt is thrown on roads for de-icing, so it no longer has to be at the same high purity level. They will now blast and haul everything out, maintaining a salt purity upwards of 95% or so, which is good enough for roads, but of course not good enough for consumption. The whole mine stretches about 2.5 miles north to south and about 2 miles east to west.
About 230 million years ago, Kansas was covered by salt waters of a great inland sea. As the waters from that sea evaporated, the salt remained and over time was covered by earth and rock.
So, salt is a sedimentary rock, meaning it typically forms in layers called strata. As the sea was here millions of years ago, mud and silt settled out of the briny mixture, leaving behind a dark layer. Occasionally the sea became an embayment and started to evaporate, left behind layers of salt. Alright, here comes the best part of the trip where I shut up for a bit and you guys can grab a piece of salt. On your dark ride, the rule was about this size. Out here, Safari picked one that's comfortably carried in one hand.
So this is the museum. Where's the active mine that they're still doing?
Right there.
Oh, that's it right there.
Well, right now we're
south away.
probably about close to 3 miles that way.
Really?
Yeah, this is already mined out stuff here. They mined all this out back in the probably the 40s.
Because we didn't hear, you don't hear anything, machinery or blasting or any of that where you're down.
Yeah, you won't, because it's so far out there.
That's crazy.
Well, today this family-owned business provides quality rock salt for de-icing the highway and for agricultural purposes. So we hope that you enjoyed the tour, and be sure and view all of our videos so you won't miss out on our adventures as we are soaring together and living life in different places. Thanks for watching.